Chelsea, I heard from the rest of the family that you got married. I knew you had someone you'd been dating for a while now, but if you plan to get married, you have to tell me. It's amazing to hear that the family is growing larger. Also, there are a lot of things that need to get prepared now. We need to start thinking about the wedding and what kind of decorations you'll want there. I won't try to get in your way when planning it all out, but I'd still like to be around to help you a little. Huh? But I did tell you about getting married. Maybe this is because you always forget about me that you never remembered? Even if I happen to be forgetful at times, I never forget about my own daughter getting married. Anyway, if you're going to have a wedding, can you please tell me the date you'd like to have it on? I want to meet his parents, and I want to be around to help with the wedding. Actually, I haven't even met him yet, so it'd be nice if you could set up a day for the three of us to go out and chat. Don't tell me you plan to be around me for this, right? Huh? You already know that I'll be there. No parent would ever want to stay away from their kid while they're having a wedding. Why would you say something like that? Listen to yourself. Huh? Wait a second, Chelsea. Is there something going on between us that I should be worried about? I know I can be a bit too much for you at times, but we haven't talked that much recently, so there shouldn't be anything about me that's upsetting you. Chelsea, can you please reply to me? Chelsea? Chelsea, I'm asking you to please respond to me. This is all really important for us, right? I only just learned that you have a man now, and I'd like a bit more information on what'll happen from here. Shut up already! You're always being so rude to me. I stopped talking because you crossed the line with me again, and I don't have any more patience for you. I'd like it if you just read the atmosphere already. Uh-huh. For the time being, I think the date of the wedding is bound to change. So when we have a certain date, I'll let you know. Well, I guess that's okay, but... and as far as you meeting with the parents before the wedding, they don't seem to want to. So you will not be meeting his parents and family before the wedding. They already told me things are tough as it is with their lives, and that they'll see you someday. And you're telling me that they don't want to meet with me before the wedding? But that's like one of the most important things that needs to happen before your big day. Don't you want to know how I'll get along with them? That's all right. My husband is a pretty busy man after all. There's no time to waste watching you make a fool out of me in front of them. Make a fool out of you? Wait, he's so busy that he can't even let me come and meet him or his family? What kind of man is he? I want to at least know who he is, Chelsea. He's going to be family in the end, so I want to know about him so things don't stay distant. You really want to know about him, huh? He's the son of a very powerful family that has a very famous company. He's one of the elite. He's got a lot of money, so does everyone else. They all live in a huge mansion deep in the woods, and the only way you can actually go into their estate is if you know them personally. Well, that's great to hear. He's 1 in a million then. I'm so proud that you finally found someone and he ended up being that outstanding. That's exactly right. And I'll become part of a family of very distinguished people. I'll be in a world far different than the one my moneyless mom lives in. So don't be trying to contact me too much, okay? Huh? You have heard of the company Marina Group, right, Mom? Well, my husband is going to be the CEO of that company. Dad is the CEO there now, but one day when he steps down, he'll give the position to his son, and then I'll be right next to him. So there's no way I want him knowing about my janitor mom whatsoever. Marina Group is the company that specializes in all sorts of businesses, right? Things like technology and medicine? I see. A son of the Marina Group. But if he happens to be affiliated closely with the Marina Group, then he should be just fine meeting someone like me. I already know plenty of people there now, so we could get along really well. And at this point, he's already been married, so he shouldn't mind seeing his mother-in-law. Ask him if he can make a little time to come out and see me. Huh? Why would you know about anything to do with him when you're a simple janitor? Well, the reason for that is that I'm a janitor working for the Marina Group within their main headquarters. Huh? They have a lot of guests that come to the building, and so they've made sure to keep a large group of us there to keep the place very clean. I may be based at the headquarters, but every so often I'll also be asked to go to some of the other regional offices. And since I have been cleaning the meeting rooms a lot of the time, I meet all sorts of execs from all over the world that come to do business. Stop bullcrapping me. Huh? What are you talking about? I never heard a thing about you working there. Hurry up and quit that job now, you old hag. Unless you're lying to me, of course. Wait, Chelsea? What the hell has gotten into you? Just quit that dang job. He'll learn that you're a janitor if you continue to work there. That would be too embarrassing for me to even keep on living. So just tell them that you're leaving and find a new job. Maybe one that's a little bit less dirty and smelly. I've been in the company for a while now, so leaving like this would be too much of a problem for them. I don't want to do that, especially after all this company has given to you and me. I don't care, I just want you to quit. That job has given nothing to you, and it most certainly has not given anything beside a bad image to me. Now quit! If you don't, I'll cut ties with you forever, and you'll never get to see how your daughter turns out. Calm down, Chelsea. I assure you that if you just listen to me and let me talk to your man and his family, everything will be just fine. Chelsea? Mom, we've chosen a day for the wedding. I'll tell you the date in a little bit, but first, can you hand me my money for the wedding? So you've decided on a date, huh? But I feel as though I should be giving you something more meaningful than just money, don't you think? My friends said they'd be giving me presents, so it's fine. I just want you to bring me my money. And if not, I'll ask it for the moment you come to my wedding. All right, then. And one other thing. When are you going to quit your job for me? If your daughter is about to have a wedding with an elite man, then it's only right that you, as my mom, quit that dirty job. I can't believe you right now. If you quit that job, I promise to give you a little money once we're married, and you can live off of that until you find a better job. But I have a life of my own to live, and this job is how I keep my life going. I plan to at least ask my boss if it would be okay for me to work in another office for the time being instead of the headquarters. That way your husband will never even know I work in the company and you won't have to be worried. Huh? You are useless! Chelsea. And you've been that way forever. Ever since Dad died and you said you had to work for the two of us, you left me at home all by myself. Even though you also said you had to be there to be the one to raise me, you never were around to. I don't get it, Mom. How can you be so frickin' useless? That's not true. I was there with you all the time to make sure that you grew up into a happy and loved woman. I just needed to work a lot so that we had money. So that you had money for when I sent you off to university. Shut up! Don't try and fool me. You always came to my graduations or ceremonies in your dirty clothing, and it was a disgrace to our family. And since I plan to cut ties with you after the wedding, I thought the last thing you could attempt to do for me is hand me my money. But you're still trying to ruin things for me by working that job, and it's enough. Don't say something so heartless as cutting ties with me, Chelsea. I'm sure there are times I left you feeling lonely, and you remember those moments very well. But I wanted to make sure you were still loved and raised well, and that's why I worked so hard for you. I love you, Chelsea. Why have you showed up to my wedding without telling me? Don't mess around anymore. Do you really want to make me feel embarrassed today? You are absolutely useless, Mom. I told you to read the dang atmosphere, Mom. Chelsea, why? Why have you been doing this to me? Huh? Doing what to you? Don't play stupid with me. I was thinking as a way of showing my love and support for you, I'd come and see the family and the man that you'd be marrying into, and the moment I came into that room, you punched me in the face. Then you called me a thief of your wedding. You hit me in the face with something in that room. And then to finish me off, you called one of the security guards in to carry me out of the wedding. You're making things seem like they happened worse than they really did. Are you sure you're not just imagining things now? If you think things like that are bad for you, then maybe you should go see a doctor for yourself. If that was all an illusion, then it was all very real. But I know right now that my face is covered in cuts and bruises and is swelling really badly. So I'm going to have to go to the hospital and have it all cared for. Well, if you're going, then I don't need to worry about you. Ask them to take a look at your head and make sure there's even a brain in there. The tests have finally all been done on me, and now I'm waiting on the results. They at least told me that nothing serious is broken. But because my skin is really torn up, they asked that I take things easy for a little while. I see. You see? Chelsea, this was all your fault in the first place.
Oh, shut the hell up. It's not like it really even matters at this point. I just wish you would have broken something in your head and then you could have stayed in the hospital forever.
Chelsea, why did you choose to punch me? I even made sure that to not cause you any embarrassment, I wore a really done-up dress. And I didn't even mean to go up to his parents yet to introduce myself. So why are you treating me so poorly? If I caused you that much pain in the past, I will forgive you, but you have to explain to me why you did this.
Well, look, I already told you why, right? My husband is the son of a very famous family and a large company. He himself has a wonderful future ahead of him, and his family is all full of elite people. They're already all aware that I'm just some plain girl that graduated from a mid-level university, but if they learn that my mom is some dirty janitor, that would be the end of this marriage.
The end of your marriage? I don't think they would do that to you, though.
Well, the elite don't want to be anywhere near the poor, Mom. And I had finally found my way out of being poor and dirty, so don't you dare get in my way now!
So that's the reason you've chosen to hate me. And yet you don't even understand what I do for a living.
Come on. All you are is a stupid janitor, right? In other words, you literally smell of garbage. Do you really think that there are any people that want you in their family? And so, I'm going to tell his family that both my parents are dead and have been for a long time.
Huh?
It's much better to just tell him that you're dead instead of saying something like you're a janitor or something. And yet you decided to come here without telling me. Did you really think I was going to invite a janitor to my wedding? So, for coming uninvited, it was only right of me to hit you in the face.
All you are to me now is a complete stranger, then.
Huh? Oh, well that helps out a lot then.
You're right. I'll no longer be around you anymore, and you'll never have to think of me as your mom again.
I never thought of you as my mom, though. Having to call you Mom all this time was the biggest pain in the butt ever. But now I'll finally never have to worry about that pain again.
Marissa, do you have time at this moment to talk? This is Marina Group's Richard.
Oh, Mr. Richard, thank you so much. I had just finished asking if it would be okay for me to contact you today. But there's a problem, right?
When I heard that there was something private the two of us needed to talk about, I knew what was coming. I'm so sorry for what has happened.
Oh, I don't mind at the moment. I'm assuming that with the privacy that this conversation has, you may have some questions about the whole matter?
Well, yes. To start, I would like to tell you that was my son's wedding yesterday.
I had assumed that was so. Congratulations.
Thank you, but I was made aware that in one of the tables showing family members, your photo was there, which is odd considering that the bride stated that both her parents were dead during her speech. I didn't want to think that this could be true, but are you Kelsey's mother?
Yes, that's right. And my daughter told me that she didn't want a janitor mother at her wedding. I didn't even go into the main hall where the actual wedding would be held, yet she punched me in the face anyway.
She punched you?
Yes, and thankfully, due to me having to clean around your office, you were able to see the condition my face is in.
She hit you that badly, though? If it really is bothering you to be at work with those injuries, you are more than welcome to take some time off.
Thank you for being so considerate. But I have some things that are going on that are making it hard for me to take any time off. And taking time off may cause some trouble for you, Mr. Richard. But be aware that I'm going to sue Chelsea.
What? Wait. Are you being serious? She's your daughter though, right?
And that's the reason why I have to sue her. Now that she has her wonderful husband to look after her, she's forgotten about everything I sacrificed to raise her when she was younger. But in my eyes, I've always been so proud that she was able to find herself a man.
Everyone knows that you've taken such good care of Kelsey. Even when you were so busy with supporting her through your work, you were able to get to her school events.
And that was because I had people here to help make that happen. But perhaps that didn't make me a good enough mother for her. Chelsea used to be such a kind little girl to me. There were times she'd even hand-bake me cakes for my birthday to celebrate. Yet, now she's at the point where she thinks it's okay to punch her own mother. I must have messed up somewhere along the way that turned her into this monster.
And as for myself, seeing that she had become such a good wife for my son, I can't believe she would do such a thing. When I had first met her after she started dating my son, she always told me that she wanted to be my daughter, and that's what made me fall for her.
Chelsea, she's really changed now, though. And because of what's happened to her, I cannot let her get away with it. It's because she used to be my sweet little girl, that seeing her now with someone who's okay with violence has made me so upset. I cannot let her get away with that, Mr. Richard.
Marissa.
And on top of that, she now wishes for me to just disappear from her life. And so if she wants to think of me as nothing but a complete stranger, I'll do the same and forget that she was ever my daughter. I never wanted to have to think of her as someone beside my own blood, but because she's gone so far to show that she doesn't want me around anymore, I'll do as she wishes. Now Chelsea is nothing more than a complete stranger to me. Perhaps I should say she turned out just like me. After all, I was an awful mother to her.
I don't believe that you were. You gave your all to be the mother that she not only wanted, but needed, and that took a lot of sacrifice out of you. And so in this instant, what she had done to you was not something that can be forgiven. For the time being, I want you to rest and let your wounds heal. And so that you can have time off of work, I'll have someone in to cover for you, okay?
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Richard.
Just call me Richard, Marissa.
Thank you, Richard.
Hey, you hag! What the hell is this? What does it mean I'm being sued? It says there was a victim's report sent in by you?
Well, what you're looking at is just that.
Don't mess with me, you! Just because you're upset with me doesn't mean you can try and fight me now.
Well, I'd like to know who this is. I don't happen to be friends with anyone who's willing to call me a hag like you have, so who are you?
Huh? What's with that? You're being too distant.
You and I are complete strangers, so I don't happen to know much about you. Hence, me acting distant. And within that victim's report that you have with you, there's a breakdown off all the healthcare that I needed to receive for my injuries. And because there were cameras all over the reception hall for your wedding, I have plenty of evidence.
Having to listen to a janitor tell me they're the victim of anything is gross. Hurry up and get rid of this crap.
I will not be doing that.
Well, if you like, I can pay you out of court. Unlike you, you useless hag, I happen to be quite the generous person. I have lots in savings, and so I don't mind handing you a little money to shut you up. So, tell me what you like.
You must have a lot of money then.
I'm a celebrity now, so my money is endless. And unlike me, your life cleaning up garbage must be painful every single day. You have no money to play with like me.
But unfortunately, I believe that your money isn't going to last much longer.
You are such a sore loser, and it's making me sad. Have you not realized what's happened to you yet? You witch! You started telling my husband all sorts of weird crap now. You're a freak. I'm going to sue you now.
If you want to try suing me, go right ahead. I just happened to tell your husband the whole truth surrounding us. I let him know that his wife is totally fine with punching her own family.
And that's what makes you a freak. You're trying to ruin my image. I am not some kind of monster that just likes to punch whoever I see.
But you punched me without any restraint, right?
And that's because you messed up by coming to my wedding without even being invited. You're a low-life janitor, and you came to that wedding to try and take the spotlight away from me, right? And so me punching you was to protect myself. I never just go around punching my family or anyone else.
But it turns out that your husband trusts me over you.
Huh?
Your husband really is a kind man, isn't he? When he heard that I was his mother-in-law, he was so happy and spoke to me like he was family. He even called me Mom, and that just warmed my heart. And when I saw his smile, I just didn't know how I could have ended up with such a caring son-in-law. Well, you and I are just strangers now, so he's not your son-in-law. That's right. But in only a little longer, you and him will also be nothing but strangers.
What are you talking about? That man loves the hell out of me. There's no way we'll ever get divorced from each other.
That's what you'd like to think, right? But when he sees the evidence of you punching me, like those recorded videos, and when he sees how you've always texted me, he might just lose all his love for you.
You're going to show him? Our conversations are supposed to be between you and I.
Oh, I've already told him, Chelsea. And all of this is evidence to you assaulting me. And just as I've told your husband, I've told the police about everything, and soon you'll be taken into their custody. I told him that he's totally fine to continue the process of divorcing you while all that happens. Your husband may be the kind of man to be generous and loving to everyone, but he can only spread that love so far when there's someone who has turned themselves into a monster. He doesn't even care that I'm a janitor. He's worried about the fact that he's married to a woman that chooses violence over anything else.
In this day and age, evidence can be faked. And you know that when choosing to trust his wife over some random old lady, he'd choose to trust me. And now I'm going to go around telling everyone that a crazy old hag has been making things up about me and that it's ruining my reputation.
And that will only work if people choose to believe you.
This is all your fault. It's your fault that he wants to divorce me now. You're a frickin' plague.
I can see that you're in a lot of trouble now, but what happened to the confidence you had before?
Shut the hell up, you hag. It's because of all the needless crap you brought up that my husband went and started looking deeper into me.
Right. He was able to see that in college you and other men would always get into problematic relationships with each other, huh? I heard all about it from your husband. He said that you always chose to be violent with other people back then. Which is crazy because I never even knew that you'd been beating up people back then when you were away at college.
But in those instances, I would give them some hush money and things would end there. So don't use all of that to ruin my image now.
The fact that I never once noticed that you've been causing all that trouble then really goes to show how bad of a mother I was. But now knowing that he's willing to divorce you over all of that, I'm happy.
Shut the actual frick up, you whore. You tried to take away my happiness. You're the worst of the worst. Are you not saddened by all the pain you've caused your daughter?
Of course, I had always wanted my daughter to be happy, but I never had a daughter that wanted her mother to be happy. And don't worry, because I'm not your mom anymore, just like you've been asking.
Dad, help me please. My mom has a grudge against me now and is making up lies. Can you please tell your son to not divorce me at least? You told me ever since I became your daughter you've been so happy, right?
I'm sorry, Kelsey, but I already know everything.
And everything that you know is that woman's delusion.
Her delusion? But I had seen the face of your mother after you had punched her in the eye. Do you really think that I could see that as a lie for the type of person that you really are?
Huh? Why did you see my mom when she's only a janitor?
Of course, it's surprising to think that a CEO would be aware of all his janitors like I am. But Kelsey, your mom and her and I go way back, Kelsey.
Harry knew?
Yes, your deceased father was my close friend, and I think I remember once seeing you at the funeral for him, although you were a lot younger then, and you were crying the whole time, so I never really had a chance to confirm who you were.
I remember the funeral. And I remember a man standing right in front of his grave after he was buried that cried and cried all day. Was that person you?
He was me, and that's why your mother and I have been close ever since. But she never once thought of getting married again, instead sacrificing everything of hers to make sure that she could raise you right. And since I was so close to her husband, I made it my goal to support her as she raised you, even to the length of giving her the job that she has now. And that job is the one that you keep on making fun of her for.
But isn't being a janitor one of the dirtiest and lowest jobs out there? I bet the only reason you gave her that job is because she was too stupid to do anything else, right?
Do not make such claims about your mother or I. And although you can't seem to understand it, I can see that your mother is one of the most important people around.
Huh? There's just no way.
Are you sure? If you'd like to come and give being a janitor a try for this company, we'll see how hard she works to keep everything going smoothly here. She's amazing with all of our cleaning techniques, and at the moment, because of those reasons, she's the manager of the Marina Group's janitors.
Huh? That woman is the manager?
Yeah, she's always been making sure that my headquarters is looking perfect. And so now I have her managing all the other janitors and making sure any new hires are trained properly. She's even willing to do tasks outside of her job requirements, and everyone here respects her for that. Not only as her CEO, but as the man who's known her for so long, I think that she is one of the most amazing women to have ever entered my company.
That can't be.
You made it clear that you hated her for her career, and that you never wanted her to be your mom because you couldn't see all the work that she put in for you. In other words, you've been making fun of and hurting the woman that I promised your dad I'd keep safe and support. I cannot let my son stay married to anyone like you, and so this is the end for you.
You're wrong. I never knew that my mom was doing that amazing at her job.
Even after all you've done to us, you still want to try and make excuses? I don't want you anywhere near my son or your mother. If you do ever come near them, I'll have the police called and you taken to jail.
Wait, Dad, please listen to what I have to say about this. Mom, help me! Right now, I'm in court for the divorce, and it looks like all those other men from the past want to sue me now. And because of the victims report you handed in, my life is going to be pretty much over.
And that's what you had been wishing for. I never planned on taking that report down. And now I'm going to make sure that you pay me a settlement as well as pay for all my medical bills, so prepare yourself.
But I don't have that kind of money on me. Please forgive me for whatever I did.
I will not. I have a responsibility to make sure that the daughter I raised is properly punished for the way she's acted. And now that you've gone and told me I'm not your mother anymore, I will not go easy on you. Now I want no more messages coming from you anymore. You are just a stranger now, so acting this way is extremely rude to me.
Wait! Hey, please come help me. I'll do anything for you. Somebody come and save me.
After that, Chelsea was told that she would have to pay a settlement to quite a few people, but on top of that, she would also have to be on parole for a year. She was not happy about hearing that from the judge and tried really hard to run from them, but she soon realized that the police were all around her. That didn't stop her though, and in an attempt to get around them, she punched one of the police in the face, only to be tackled by 3 more and dragged out of the courtroom. For 6 months after that, she had to serve time for assaulting an officer, but was released early and placed on 2 years of parole. However, getting out of jail was not easy on her, and she still has to pay off all the settlements, which she chose to borrow a lot of money in order to do so. But even without the stress of the settlements themselves looming over her, she now needed to pay off the money that she borrowed. So now she's working day and night at a couple of different places, trying her best to make all she can. But because of the way she treats everyone and acts within the building she's been working in, she's been demoted to being the janitor in all of them. She has now learned that there's no good side or bad side to being a janitor, and that it's all up to the person in said position to make a good or bad name for themselves. I know that she has to work long days making whatever money she can, but I hope, as my last wish for her as her mother, that she will one day find a way out of having to work so much and can go back to a normal life where she has time to breathe. As for myself, I can see that even with all I gave trying to raise her right, she still turned out far worse than I could have ever imagined. But as a lot of my friends around me have said, I cannot blame myself for raising someone that was never willing to respect me in the first place.